what had happened was it completely impaled the passenger side of my car, pushed the whole interior of the car in on the driver's side, pushed it back through the median probably 50 feet and flipped me over a guardrail. So this is the point where, you see, I have no memory of this, which is interesting, because I have a memory of something else.
What's that?
Well, I'm going to tell you here in a minute. It's a very strange thing, and I don't know if there's anyone out there that's ever experienced amnesia or an accident like this. But it's strange, because it's like I'm talking about this other guy.
I understand.
It doesn't feel like it happened to me. People have told me about myself during that time, and I've applied that to my own memories, and that's what I recite, that's what I tell people. But there's a month before and pretty much like a month after that's just like kind of gone.
Not there.
What I remember, though, because there are very kind of splotchy memories, but the one thing that I remember that's more real than anything, I would venture to say this is it's more real than any memory that I have of my life, is that I went through, and I always feel a little like weird saying this, but I went through a near-death experience. And I told you I'm going to get emotional.
I understand.
Because every time, you know, it's like it's so real.
Yes, I do.
You know, it's just, you know, I think what I realized what I realize now is that I had lost so much faith in anything. You know, I was raised Christian, but didn't believe it. I had just lost faith in so many things. And here I am, and I went through this experience of the best thing that I can say, the best way that I can explain it is that I was in a space, a void, a blackness almost, but there were these beings, the way that we interpret beings. I can't even say that they were these humanoid figures, because they're not. They were just these beings, and there was this voice, this speaking in unison that everything is going to be okay. And there was, see, this is the point where I get a little emotional. There was no pain.
No pain.
There was no, you know, and when I say pain, I don't mean physical pain. I mean what's in here. The thing that we don't, you know, we push through each day. And we don't talk about these things that bother us.
Yes, yeah.
You know, these things that we repress. And we just repress it and repress it and repress it. And we don't tell anybody, because it's not good to talk about our feelings.
Nobody wants to hear this, you know.
Nobody wants to hear it. All of that was lifted, and it was the most amazing, euphoric feeling that I have ever known. It's going to be okay. And then this point came where I was told, it's not your time yet. And I was pushed back. And also, you know, everyone talks about the light. You know, oh, the light, I saw the light. Yeah, right. Yes, you read it, you hear it, yes. I know, right? And like before the accident, I would have heard that and I would have been like, that guy's crazy. But I saw the light.
You saw the light.
And it was just this brilliant, amazing, warm light, and it wasn't coming from anywhere. There was no source. I mean, as a photographer, I'm always like thinking like the light source. Yeah. Where's the light source? There was no light source. It was coming from behind these things that were with me, these beings, these, you know, and it was just there. It was just coming,
there.
you know.
Just there.
And So I'm being pushed back into what I've kind of in my own mind figured out as like my consciousness or soul or something being pushed back into the reality of my body, and it hurt. It was so painful.
Really?
And I fought it. And then the next thing I snapped out of wherever this thing was, and I was at the Wake Forest Medical Center in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Heidi was there with me, and the first thing I remember is saying, "Where was I?"
Where was I? You knew you had been somewhere.
Yeah. And
I said it was on Saturday night, and I got there Monday morning, but you were awake.
I was awake, but I wasn't.
You were awake, but you were apparently weren't really there.
I wasn't really conscious.
Yeah.
And that's where
that's the odd thing, is that he never lost consciousness, and he never died, but
he was there.
He went somewhere.
So
yes,
that's where the philosophy, and you know, I never read about any of this before. I never really cared about it all that much. But since then, I've read about these things, and I've come to the conclusion that, you know, our essence, our souls, you know, we're energy. We're all energy.
Energy.
And this fleshiness, this fleshiness, all these things, they don't really.
That.
Well, yeah, they don't really exist. Like the real, you know, what's real is what's inside. And our souls, I think sometimes, or whatever you want to call it, that energy, the life force, I think it gets jarred from us. It gets jarred from our body, and there's a separation. And at that point, there's an opportunity, or I don't know if you want to call it an opportunity, but you see this other side. And, you know, and don't get me wrong, I don't bring any spiritual, religious, any certain religion to my beliefs. I believe that I believe that all religions are so correct in so many ways, because when you take away all the, well, the word I want to use right now I can't really say on TV, but
yeah.
when you take away
the ritual,
all the dung of these things, it still comes down to an afterlife, spirituality, you know, God, whatever word you want to use for God, you know, this, you know, I like to say the universe, you know, universe, the source.
The source.
Yeah.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah, so
powerful stuff.
That is my...
You were still awake, but you weren't there.
Yeah.
I have never heard that before in terms of near death. But what you describe is very similar to what I've heard other people talk about, but not being awake. And one of the things when you talk about the internal thing, one of the things that I have learned is that when we look in the mirror, what we see is not us, just as you say, but that which is looking back from the mirror. Thank you all so much for coming.
Well, before we run out of time, I have a little gift, very modest here, okay, that I want to give to you.
Ah.
Okay,
Oh, look. Oh, you got to turn it up.
Yeah. Hey,
oh, that is the bomb. Can y'all see that? That was on the magazine.
That is the magazine cover.
Oh, that is the bomb.
Yeah.
I love that.
And it is. Here's the magazine right here.
Yeah. Oh,
and,
that is so. And my birthday is tomorrow. That is on time.
Happy birthday!
Yes.
Well, Shirley, it says right here, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. It says, Shirley, always let your beautiful light shine.
Thank you, Chris. You and Heidi doing the same. We'll do it together. Thank you all for being with us tonight, and we look for you next week. And hopefully, you will stay with us through October the 24th. Thank you all so much for coming tonight and sharing your story.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.